In this video, we'll be creating this temperature converter with JavaScript. Let's start with our HTML file. Let's change the name of the title to temperature converter. And let's link our CSS and script as well. So let's link our CSS here. And let's link our script. And don't forget to add the defer tag here. With this defer tag, our script will load after our HTML page is loaded. We linked everything we need to link, so let's start with our web page. So here on the body, I'm creating a div with the class of container. And inside the container div, I'm going to create a div with the class of temps. And here I'm creating a label for each temperature I'm going to use in this project. So firstly we have Celsius. Let me copy this. Here I'm creating an input with the type number and an ID of Celsius. And the second label for Fahrenheit and an input for Fahrenheit as well with the type of number and an ID of Fahrenheit. Let's do the same thing for Kelvin as well. And let's create an input for the Kelvin as well with the type of number and an ID of Kelvin. Now this will be our web page. We don't need anything more. Now we can start styling our web page. I'm not going to spend time here, so I'll just copy and paste my styling. So this will be our styling. If you want to use this styling, feel free to pause the video and copy my code from here. Now we can start writing the JavaScript to add functionality here. Let's get into our JavaScript file, and now let's create a variable called Celsius and get it with document.getElementById. Its ID is Celsius. If you gave it a different ID, write that ID name here so your code will work that way. Let's get the Fahrenheit as well, and let's get the Kelvin. Now let's create our conversions. So let's add an event listener to Celsius. And event listener will be input. And in this function, we're going to change these values, Fahrenheits and Kelvins. When we type something here to the Celsius input place, we'll get the converted rates here, converted temperatures on the other input boxes. So now we need to convert the Celsius to Fahrenheit and Kelvin. So let's create a variable called F stands for Fahrenheit. Let's parse it, actually parse float. This will be Celsius value multiplied 9 and divided by 5 plus 32. This is our rate for Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. Now let's do the same thing for Kelvin as well. Let's create a variable called K temperature and let's parse float it with the value of Celsius dot value plus 273.15. And this is the rate for the Celsius to Kelvin conversion. Now we're assigning the Fahrenheit value to the F temperature and Kelvin value to the K temperature. So let's test this if it's working. Let's add a value here to Celsius. And as you can see, we get the converted values here on the Fahrenheit and Kelvin. Now we'll do the same things for the Fahrenheit value and the Kelvin value as well. So let's add an event listener. So let's add an event listener to Fahrenheit as well. And now here, let's create a variable called C temperature and parse float it. And we're going to do the Fahrenheit value. And let's do it for the Kelvin temperature as well. Value plus 459.67 divided by 9. And this is the rate for the Fahrenheit to Kelvin conversion. And now let's write these values to our HTML code as well. And let's write the Kelvin value as well. Now we only have Kelvin left, so let's add an event listener to our Kelvin value. And let's do the same thing for this one as well. Const Celsius temperature equals parse float Kelvin dot value minus 273.15. This is the conversion rate for the Kelvin to Celsius conversion. And let's do the Fahrenheit one as well. And this one is parse float Kelvin dot value. We're getting the Kelvin's value here, the one we like. What we type here will be the value, and we'll do these conversion rates to that value we're getting. So the rate for the Kelvin to Fahrenheit conversion is by 5 minus 459.67. So this is our code, this is our JavaScript code. And let's test if everything is working. Let's see. When we type a value to Celsius, we get the converted rates to the Fahrenheit and Kelvin. And when we type something to Fahrenheit side, we're getting the converted rates of Fahrenheit to Celsius and Kelvin. And let's write something to Kelvin. And as you can see, we're getting the values as well. So you can see we're getting the Kelvin's converted values as well. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one.